Welcome, beloved soul. I'm so glad you found your way to this divine message today. There are no accidents in this universe, only divine appointments, and your presence here is evidence of that sacred truth. If you're watching this video right now, please know that you've been guided here by forces beyond what the human eye can see. The angels have been working tirelessly to ensure this message reaches your heart at exactly the right moment. Before we begin this journey together, I invite you to type "open" in the comments below. This simple act signals to the universe that you're ready to receive the wisdom that's about to be shared. It's a small gesture, but one that creates a powerful ripple in the fabric of your destiny. Go ahead. Type "open" now and let's proceed with an aligned heart. Today's message carries a weight of importance that I can feel even as I speak these words to you. Your soulmate is coming back into your life, but they won't be the same person who left. Neither will you. This divine reunion has been orchestrated by the heavens, but it requires your understanding and preparation. Many of you have been feeling a strange stirring lately. Perhaps you've been thinking about this person unexpectedly, dreaming about them, or feeling their energy around you in quiet moments. These are not coincidences. These are divine nudges, gentle reminders that something profound is unfolding in your life's journey. The angels want you to know that this reconnection isn't happening randomly. It's happening because both of you have been on separate healing journeys, learning the lessons you needed to learn apart before you could come together again in a more evolved way. The divine timing of this reunion has been carefully calculated to ensure that both souls have reached the necessary level of growth. Take a moment now to reflect on who you were when this connection first began. Notice how much you've changed, how much you've grown. The trials you've endured weren't punishments. They were preparations. Type "grateful" in the comments if you can acknowledge the growth you've experienced, even through the painful moments. Your soulmate has been on their own journey of transformation. The person who returns to your life will carry the same soul essence you recognized before, but their understanding, their perspective, and their capacity for love has expanded. They've faced their own challenges, confronted their own shadows, and emerged with new wisdom that will complement your own evolution. This is why the angels emphasize that they are changed forever. It's not a warning, but a blessing. The changes they've undergone were necessary for this reunion to fulfill its higher purpose in both your lives. The connection you'll share now will be deeper, more authentic, and more aligned with your soul's true mission. Some of you might be feeling apprehensive about this reunion. Perhaps there was pain when you parted ways before. Perhaps trust was broken or words were said that left scars on your heart. The angels want you to know that healing is possible, that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, and that this new chapter can be written with wisdom gained from previous mistakes. Type "release" in the comments if you're ready to let go of past hurts to make space for this new beginning. Your willingness to release old pain creates the energetic space needed for this transformed connection to enter your life. Now let me share something important about divine timing. Many of you have been asking, when will this reunion happen? The angels want you to understand that earthly time and divine timing operate differently. What matters most isn't the when, but your readiness. Are you truly prepared to meet this soul again with an open heart and clear eyes? This period of waiting isn't empty space, it's sacred preparation time. Every day that passes is an opportunity to become more aligned with your authentic self, to heal old wounds, to clarify your boundaries, and to raise your vibration to match the frequency of the love that's coming your way. The angels are asking you to use this time wisely. Focus on self-love and self-care. Nurture your connection with your higher power. Release attachments to how this reunion should look, and trust that the divine plan is unfolding perfectly. Your task isn't to force or control this reconnection, but to become the highest version of yourself, so that when it happens, you're ready to receive it fully. Type "ready" in the comments if you're committed to using this waiting period as sacred. Preparation time. Your declaration matters more than you know. Now let's talk about recognition. When your soulmate returns to your life, they may appear in unexpected ways. Sometimes these divine reunions don't announce themselves with dramatic fanfare. They often begin subtly, perhaps through a message that touches your heart, a chance meeting that feels strangely familiar, or even through a mutual connection who brings you back into each other's awareness. The angels want you to stay alert and open. This person may not look the way you remember them. Their external appearance might have changed, but more importantly, their energy will feel different. There will be a new depth to them, a newfound clarity, perhaps even a peaceful confidence that wasn't there before. These changes are beautiful evidence of their growth journey. When you reconnect, you might experience a moment of profound recognition, not just of who they were, but of who they've become. This recognition goes beyond physical appearance or personality. It's a soul recognition, a deep knowing that despite all the changes, you're meeting a familiar spirit who has walked with yours across lifetimes. Type "see" in the comments if you're willing to see this person with fresh eyes when they return, without projecting old patterns or expectations onto them. The angels want you to understand something crucial about this reunion. It's not happening to complete you or to fix something broken within you. This soul is returning to complement the wholeness you've been cultivating during your time apart. The healthiest reunions happen between two people who have learned to stand strong in their individual power before coming together to create something greater than themselves. This is why the waiting period has been necessary. You needed time to discover your own strength, to heal your wounds, to learn to love yourself completely. Your soulmate needed that same time for their own journey. Now, as you come back together, you'll be meeting as whole beings choosing to share your light, rather than two halves desperately seeking completion. Some of you might be wondering, how will I know for sure this is the person the angels are talking about? Trust your intuition. When this reunion happens, there will be a sense of divine rightness about it. You'll feel a calm knowing in your spirit. The connection won't be characterized by anxiety, obsession, or fear of loss. Instead, it will bring a peaceful certainty, a gentle recognition that feels like coming home. Type "trust" in the comments if you're committed to honoring your intuition and trusting the divine signs that will guide this reunion. Now, beloved soul, I must share something important with you. This reunion, while divinely orchestrated, still honors free will. Both you and your soulmate have the freedom to choose how you respond to this reconnection. The angels can bring you together, but what happens next depends on the choices you both make. This is why personal growth has been so essential during your time apart. The more healed and whole you become, the more likely you are to make choices aligned with your highest good and the highest good of all involved. When your soulmate returns, you'll both be faced with choices about how to proceed, how vulnerable to be, how much to trust the process unfolding between you. The angels encourage you to approach these choices with both an open heart and wise discernment. Being open to this reconnection doesn't mean abandoning your boundaries or ignoring red flags. True divine love never asks you to diminish yourself or compromise your well-being. The changes your soulmate has undergone should include greater respect for your boundaries and a deeper commitment to honest communication. Type discern in the comments if you're committed to bringing both openness and wisdom to this reunion when it manifests. Let's talk about the changes you might notice in this person when they return to your life. These transformations will vary depending on what lessons they needed to learn during your time apart, but there are some common patterns the angels want you to be aware of. First, many returning soulmates show evidence of spiritual awakening. Perhaps they were once closed off to spiritual concepts, but now they speak of higher consciousness, divine guidance, or the interconnectedness of all things. This spiritual growth creates a new dimension of connection between you, one where you can share not just your earthly journey, but your spiritual evolution as well. Second, you may notice they've developed greater emotional intelligence. Where, once they might have struggled to identify or express their feelings, now they communicate with greater clarity and vulnerability. They've learned that emotional honesty isn't weakness but strength, and this allows for deeper intimacy between you. Third, many returning soulmates have developed stronger boundaries and a clearer sense of self. In the past, they might have engaged in people-pleasing behaviors or lost themselves in relationships. Now, they understand the importance of maintaining their individual identity even within a close connection. This healthy separation actually allows for a more authentic togetherness. Fourth, you may notice they've released addictive patterns or self-destructive behaviors that once created chaos in their life and in your connection. This healing represents significant inner work and demonstrates their commitment to showing up as their higher self. Finally, many returning soulmates have developed greater compassion, not just for others, but for themselves. This self-compassion allows them to acknowledge past mistakes without being defined by them, creating space for genuine growth and transformation in your reconnection. Type witness in the comments if you're willing to witness and honor the changes in this person without trying to pull them back into old patterns that may feel more familiar but serve neither of you anymore. Now, beloved soul, I want to address something important. Some of you may be wondering, what if I've met someone else during this separation? What if I've developed feelings for another person? The angels want you to know that there are no accidents in divine timing. If another soul has entered your life during this period of waiting, there's a purpose to that connection as well. Sometimes these interim relationships serve as healing catalysts, helping you work through unresolved issues before your soulmate returns. Other times, they serve as mirrors, reflecting aspects of yourself that need attention and growth. And yes, sometimes what you thought was a temporary connection might actually be the transformed soulmate returning in a way you didn't expect to recognize. The angels encourage you to approach all connections with presence and authenticity. Don't rush to label or categorize relationships based on past expectations. Stay open to the wisdom each connection brings, and trust that the divine orchestration of your life includes perfect timing for all significant relationships. Type flow in the comments if you're willing to flow with divine timing rather than forcing relationships to fit your expectations or timeline. Let's talk now about preparation. How can you best prepare yourself for this reunion with your transformed soulmate? The angels offer several key practices to help you align with this incoming blessing. First, Commit to radical honesty with yourself. Examine any lingering resentments, unprocessed grief, or unhealed wounds from your past connection with this person. These emotional residues can cloud your perception and prevent you from seeing who they've truly become. Journaling about your feelings, working with a therapist, or engaging in energy healing practices can help clear these emotional blockages. Second, clarify your non-negotiables. What boundaries are essential for your well-being in any relationship? What values must be honored for a connection to feel aligned with your highest good? When your soulmate returns, these clear boundaries will help you navigate the reconnection with wisdom rather than being swept away by emotional intensity. Third, practice presence. Many of us miss divine appointments because we're so focused on the past or future that we fail to notice the miracles unfolding right before us. By cultivating mindfulness in your daily life, you'll be more likely to recognize your soulmate when they reappear, even if they come in an unexpected form. Fourth, release attachment to outcomes. While the angels are confirming this reunion will occur, they're not promising a specific form it must take. Perhaps this transformed connection will blossom into a romantic partnership, a profound friendship, or a period of healing closure that frees you both to move forward. Trust that whatever form this reconnection takes, it will serve your highest good and spiritual growth. Type "prepare" in the comments if you're committed to doing this inner work to prepare for the divine appointment that awaits you. Now, beloved soul, I want to address the waiting period. For some of you, this reunion may happen quickly after receiving this message. For others, there may still be a period of divine timing at work before your paths cross again. The angels want you to know that this waiting isn't empty time. It's sacred preparation. During this waiting period, focus on becoming the person you want to be when this reunion occurs. How do you want to show up? What energy do you want to embody? What parts of yourself do you want to have healed and integrated? Use this time to align with that vision of your highest self. The angels also encourage you to pay attention to synchronicities during this waiting period. You may begin to notice signs that confirm this reunion is approaching. Perhaps mentions of their name, symbols that remind you of them, or dreams that feel significant. These synchronicities aren't just random coincidences. They're divine breadcrumbs leading you toward this destined reconnection. Most importantly, use this waiting period to deepen your connection with your own divine guidance system. The clearer your channel of communication with your higher self and spiritual guides, the more easily you'll recognize divine timing when it unfolds in your life. Meditation, prayer, time in nature, and creative expression can all help strengthen this sacred connection. Type "patience" in the comments if you're willing to honor divine timing and use this waiting period as sacred preparation for what's to come. Let's explore now what this reunion might feel like when it finally occurs. The angels want you to know that while there will likely be a sense of familiarity when you reconnect with this soul, there may also be moments that feel surprisingly new and unfamiliar. This is the beautiful tension of meeting someone who carries the essence you recognize but has transformed in significant ways. You might experience a moment of profound recognition, a look in their eyes, a particular phrase they use, or a gesture that instantly reminds you of your shared history. Yet in the next moment, they might express a perspective or demonstrate a quality that feels entirely new to you. This dance between familiarity and newness is sacred. It honors both your shared past and the separate growth journeys you've been The angels encourage you to approach this reunion with curiosity rather than assumptions. Instead of thinking, I know this person, adopt the mindset of, I'm getting to discover who they've become. This curious approach creates space for both of you to reveal yourselves authentically rather than falling back into old patterns or roles. When you do reconnect, you might notice that the energy between you feels different, where once there might have been intensity bordering on obsession. Now there might be a calm, steady warmth. Where there might have been dramatic highs and lows, now there might be a peaceful consistency. These changes in the energetic signature of your connection reflect the healing and maturation you've both undergone. Type "Discover" in the comments if you're willing to approach this reunion with curiosity and openness rather than assumptions, based on who this person used to be. Now, beloved soul, I want to address something important. Some of you might be wondering, what if I don't want this person back in my life? What if I've moved on and don't wish to revisit this connection? The angels honor your free will completely. This message isn't meant to override your discernment or push you toward a connection that no longer feels aligned. If you've genuinely processed the lessons from this relationship and feel complete, this message may be confirming that closure rather than suggesting a romantic rekindling. Perhaps this person will return briefly to acknowledge growth on both sides, offering healing words that allow you both to move forward with peace. Divine reunions don't always mean lifelong connections. Sometimes they're momentary intersections that serve a specific purpose in your soul's evolution. Trust your inner knowing about what form this reunion should take in your life. The angels are confirming that contact will occur, but you always retain the power to decide how much space this connection should occupy in your life moving forward. Type "Choose" in the comments if you're committed to honoring your own discernment when this reunion manifests, whatever form it may take. Let's talk now about recognition. How will you know when this divine reunion is occurring? The angels want you to understand that it may not announce itself with dramatic signs or immediate clarity. Often, these destined reconnections begin subtly and reveal their significance over time. You might receive a message from this person out of the blue. You might bump into them in an unexpected place. You might hear their name mentioned by a mutual friend who suggests reconnecting. However it begins, there will likely be a moment where something inside you whispers, "This is significant." Trust that inner knowing. When you do reconnect, pay attention to how you feel in their presence, not just emotionally but energetically. Divine reunions often create a sense of expanded awareness, as if something larger than both of you is present in your interaction. You might notice a feeling of calm certainty, a sense of rightness that transcends logical explanation. Also notice how they engage with you. Has their communication style changed? Do they listen more deeply? Do they take responsibility for past actions without prompting? These shifts in behavior are important indicators of the inner transformation they've undergone. Most importantly, notice whether this reconnection feels like it's adding to your peace or disturbing it. Divine appointments, even when they bring up emotions to be processed, ultimately lead toward greater peace and clarity rather than confusion and chaos. Type "Notice" in the comments if you're committed to paying attention to these subtle signs when your paths cross again. Now, beloved soul, I want to address the changes you yourself have undergone during this separation period. Just as your soulmate has been transformed by their experiences, you too have evolved in significant ways. When this reunion occurs, it's Important that you honor your own growth rather than slipping back into old patterns or ways of being that no longer serve you. Perhaps you've become more assertive in expressing your needs. Perhaps you've developed greater self-reliance and inner strength. Perhaps you've developed a deeper spiritual practice that has become central to your life. Perhaps you've healed family patterns or childhood wounds that once influenced how you showed up in relationships. All of these changes are sacred, and they deserve to be honored when this reunion occurs. The angels want you to remember that you are not the same person who participated in this connection before. You've gained wisdom, perspective, and self-knowledge that will allow you to engage with this soul in a more conscious way this time. Don't abandon this growth in an attempt to recreate what once was. Instead, allow your evolved self to create something entirely new with this familiar soul. Type "evolved" in the comments if you're committed to honoring your own transformation when this reunion manifests in your life. Let's explore now what this transformed connection might look like. The angels want you to understand that when two people have done significant inner work separately, their reconnection creates possibilities that weren't available in their previous interaction. The energy between you will be different because you're both bringing different frequencies to the exchange. Where once there might have been codependency, now there can be interdependence. Two whole beings choosing to share their light rather than seeking completion from each other. Where once there might have been unspoken expectations and assumptions, now there can be clear communication and mutual respect for boundaries. Where once there might have been fear of abandonment driving possessive behaviors, now there can be trust in divine timing and appreciation for individual growth. This transformed connection has the potential to support both of your spiritual paths rather than distracting from them. It can become a container for mutual evolution, where you inspire each other to keep growing, healing, and expanding your capacity for love and service in the world. The angels emphasize that this reconnection isn't the end point of your journey. It's simply the beginning of a new chapter. The work of conscious relationship continues even after the divine reunion occurs. Both of you will still be human, still learning, still healing. The difference is that now you'll have the opportunity to do this sacred work together, supporting each other's highest good while honoring your individual paths. Type "potential" in the comments if you can see the beautiful possibilities that exist in this transformed connection. Now, beloved soul, I want to address something important about divine timing. Some of you have been waiting for this reunion for what feels like a very long time. You may have experienced moments of doubt, wondering if the angels' promises would ever manifest in your life. The waiting itself has been part of your spiritual curriculum, teaching you patience, surrender, and trust in forces larger than yourself. The angels want you to know that this waiting period hasn't been wasted time. Every moment has been purposeful, allowing both you and your soulmate to undergo the necessary transformations before your paths cross again. Divine timing is perfect timing, even when it doesn't align with our human desires for immediate resolution. For some of you, this reunion will happen shortly after receiving this message. For others, there may still be divine preparation occurring behind the scenes. Trust that the exact moment of your reconnection has been carefully orchestrated to ensure that both of you have learned the lessons necessary to create something beautiful and sustainable together. The angels also want you to understand that sometimes these divine reunions happen in stages rather than all at once. Perhaps you'll receive a message that opens the door to communication. Perhaps you'll have a brief encounter that plants seeds for future connection. Perhaps you'll begin a conversation that gradually deepens over time. Honor whatever form this reconnection takes, trusting that each step is unfolding according to divine design. Type timing in the comments if you're willing to trust the perfect orchestration of this reunion in your life. Let's talk now about the challenges that might arise when this transformed soulmate returns to your life. The angels want you to be prepared, not just for the joy of reconnection, but also for the growth opportunities that will inevitably emerge as you navigate this new chapter together. One common challenge is reconciling your memory of who they were with who they've become. You might find yourself looking for familiar patterns or responses, only to discover that they relate to situations differently now. This can create moments of disorientation as you update your internal image of who this person is. Practice presence and curiosity during these moments, allowing yourself to discover them anew rather than clinging to outdated perceptions. Another challenge might be addressing unresolved issues from your past connection. Even with all the growth both of you have experienced, there may still be conversations needed about past hurts or misunderstandings. Approach these conversations with compassion and a genuine desire to understand rather than to prove a point or assign blame. Remember that healing happens in the space of honest communication offered with love. You might also face the challenge of integrating this reconnection into your current life. Perhaps you've built new relationships, established new routines, or created a life that feels complete in itself. Now you're being asked to make space for this returning soul. This requires discernment about boundaries, priorities, and the shape you want this connection to take moving forward. Finally, you might face the challenge of managing expectations, both your own and those of others who knew you in your previous connection with this person. Stay grounded in the present reality rather than projecting future outcomes or revisiting past dynamics. Allow this connection to reveal its purpose organically rather than forcing it into a predetermined mold. Type "grow" in the comments if you're willing to embrace these challenges as opportunities for continued evolution rather than obstacles to overcome. Now, beloved soul, I want to share some guidance about communication when this reunion occurs. Clear, honest communication will be essential as you navigate this reconnection with your transformed soulmate. First, practice active listening. When they share who they've become or what they've learned during your time apart, listen with your full presence rather than formulating your response or comparing their experience to your own. This deep listening creates space for authentic connection and demonstrates respect for their unique journey. Second, speak your truth with compassion. Share your own growth, insights, and current boundaries clearly, but without accusation or blame. Use I statements to express your feelings and needs, owning your experience rather than projecting responsibility onto them. Third, be willing to have conversations that might feel uncomfortable. Perhaps there are things that were left unsaid in your previous connection. Perhaps there are apologies needed or explanations that would bring healing. Approach these conversations with courage and a genuine desire for mutual understanding. Fourth, honor silence as part of your communication. Not everything needs to be said at once. Allow space for integration, reflection, and the natural unfolding of your reconnection. Sometimes the most profound understanding emerges in the quiet spaces between words. Finally, remember that communication isn't just verbal. Pay attention to the energy you bring to your interactions, the non-verbal cues you share, and the intuitive knowing that often transcends words. This soul connection likely operates on multiple levels of awareness, and your communication can reflect that depth. Type "speak" in the comments if you're committed to bringing conscious communication to this reunion when it manifests. Let's explore now the spiritual purpose behind this divine reunion. The angels want you to understand that this reconnection isn't happening randomly. It's part of a larger spiritual plan that serves not just your individual growth, but the collective evolution of consciousness on our planet. When two souls who have done significant inner work come together in conscious connection, they create a field of resonance that affects everyone around them. Your transformed relationship becomes a living example of what's possible when people commit to their healing journey and approach connection from wholeness rather than lack. This reunion may also be occurring to support specific soul contracts you made before incarnating. Perhaps there's work you agreed to do together in this lifetime, creative collaborations, healing projects, or service to particular communities. Your time apart was necessary preparation for this shared purpose that can only be fulfilled through your combined energies and talents. For some of you, this reconnection is happening to facilitate healing across generational lines. The conscious love you create together helps to break ancestral patterns and create new possibilities for those who come after you. Your willingness to do your inner work and come together in a more evolved way creates ripple effects through your entire family system. The angels also want you to know that this reunion serves the awakening of divine feminine and divine masculine energies within both of you, regardless of your gender. As you recognize and honor the transformation in each other, you help to balance these sacred energies within yourselves and contribute to the larger planetary balancing that's currently underway. Type "purpose" in the comments if you're willing to consider the higher spiritual purpose this reunion might serve in your life and in our world. Now, beloved soul, I want to address something important about expectations. When your soulmate returns to your life transformed by their journey, it's natural to have hopes about what this reconnection might mean. The angels encourage you to hold these hopes lightly, remaining open to how this divine appointment actually unfolds rather than clinging to specific outcomes. Remember that this person has changed in ways you cannot fully anticipate until you reconnect. They may have developed new priorities, new perspectives, or new ways of relating that will influence the shape your connection takes. Similarly, you've changed in ways that may surprise them. This mutual transformation creates a field of beautiful possibility, but it requires flexibility and openness from both of you. The angels want you to understand that the highest purpose of this reunion may not align with your current expectations. Perhaps you're hoping for romantic reconciliation, but the divine plan involves a healing friendship that frees both of you to pursue different romantic connections. Perhaps you're expecting brief closure, but the divine plan involves a deeper reconnection than you currently imagine possible. Stay present with what is actually emerging between you rather than measuring it against your preconceived ideas. Trust that whatever form this reconnection takes, it's aligned with your highest good and spiritual growth if you approach it with consciousness and discernment. Type "open" in the comments if you're willing to release rigid expectations and remain open to how this divine reunion actually manifests in your life. Let's talk now about the signs that may precede this reunion. The angels often send confirmations to prepare your heart and mind for significant spiritual appointments. Paying attention to these signs can help you recognize divine timing when it unfolds in your life. You might notice an increase in meaningful dreams about this person, or symbolic dreams about reunion and reconciliation. These dreams aren't just processing your subconscious desires. They're often preparation from your spiritual guides, helping you work through emotions and receive guidance before the physical reconnection occurs. You might experience a sudden sense of peace about this connection after periods of longing or uncertainty. This peace often descends when divine timing is approaching, signaling that the inner preparation on both sides is nearly complete. You might notice references to themes of return, reconciliation, or transformation in the books you're drawn to, the songs that catch your attention, or the conversations you overhear. These synchronicities are often breadcrumbs on the path, confirming that you're moving toward this divine appointment. You might feel called to visit places that were significant in your previous connection, or to engage in activities that remind you of this person. These nudges are often part of the energetic preparation, helping you process emotions and clear space for the new connection that's forming. Most significantly, you might experience a sudden knowing that something is shifting in the energetic field between you and this person. Even before physical contact occurs, you may sense that movement is happening on spiritual levels, preparing the way for your paths to cross again. Type "aware" in the comments if you're committed to staying alert to these divine signs in your life. Now, beloved soul, I want to address the healing that may need to occur when this reunion manifests. Even with all the growth and transformation both of you have experienced, there may still be wounds from your previous connection that need attention and care. Approach this healing process with patience and compassion, both for yourself and for them. Understand that healing rarely happens in a single conversation or encounter. It unfolds gradually as trust is rebuilt and new patterns of interaction replace old ones. The angels encourage you to be honest about your feelings without using them as weapons. It's possible to acknowledge hurt without assigning blame, to express needs without making demands, and to set boundaries without building walls. This balanced approach creates space for genuine healing rather than perpetuating cycles of hurt and defensiveness. Remember that forgiveness is a process, not a one-time event. You may need to forgive this person for past actions that caused you pain. They may need to forgive you as well. And both of you may need to forgive yourselves for choices made from less conscious states of being. This multi-layered forgiveness creates the foundation for a transformed connection. Most importantly, honor the pace of healing that feels right for your heart. There's no need to rush vulnerability or force intimacy before trust has been rebuilt. True healing happens in an atmosphere of safety, and creating that safety requires time, consistency, and mutual respect for boundaries. Type "heal" in the comments if you're willing to approach the healing aspects of this reunion with patience and compassion. Let's explore now what it means that your soulmate is changed forever. The angels want you to understand the profound nature of the transformation this person has undergone during your time apart. This isn't simply about external changes like a new career path, living location, or relationship status, although those shifts may have occurred as well. The transformation they're referring to is a fundamental shift in consciousness, a rewiring of core beliefs and patterns that have shaped this person's way of being in the world. Perhaps they've awakened to spiritual truths that were previously hidden from their awareness. Perhaps they've healed childhood wounds that once drove unconscious behaviors in your connection. Perhaps they've developed emotional intelligence that allows them to communicate in ways that were impossible before. Perhaps they've aligned with their authentic purpose after periods of confusion or misdirection. Whatever form their transformation has taken, it's important to understand that they cannot return to who they were before. Even if they wanted to, consciousness expansion doesn't work that way. Once we've awakened to greater truth, we cannot go back to sleep. Once we've healed core wounds, we cannot recreate the same patterns with the same unconsciousness. This changed forever quality is actually the greatest gift of this reunion. It means you're not reconnecting with the same dynamics that may have caused pain or separation before. You're being offered the opportunity to create something entirely new with a soul you recognize, but who now brings different energy, awareness, and capacity to your connection. Type transform in the comments if you can appreciate the gift of connecting with someone who has done the inner work to transform themselves during your time apart. Now, beloved soul, I want to address something important about your own readiness for this divine reunion. The angels want you to understand that this reconnection isn't just happening to you, it's happening through you and with your participation. Your own state of consciousness will significantly influence how this reunion unfolds. Take a moment to check in with yourself honestly. Are you still carrying resentment about how things ended before? Are you holding on to an idealized image of who this person was, rather than being open to who they've become? Are you looking for them to validate your worth or complete something missing within yourself? These patterns would limit the potential of your reconnection. Alternatively, have you done your own inner work during this separation? Have you healed the wounds that contributed to challenges in your previous connection? Have you developed self-love that allows you to enter relationships from wholeness rather than need? Have you clarified your values and boundaries? This inner preparation creates fertile ground for something beautiful to grow when your paths cross again. The angels emphasize that this reunion is not meant to rescue you from loneliness or validate your worth. It's meant to be a coming together of two whole beings who choose each other consciously, rather than from compulsion or lack. Your readiness for this kind of conscious connection is essential to the divine plan unfolding in your life. Type ready in the comments if you've been doing your own inner work to prepare for this sacred reunion. Let's talk now about the practical aspects of this reconnection. When your transformed soulmate returns to your life, you'll be faced with decisions about how to integrate this connection into your daily reality. The angels offer guidance to help you navigate these practical considerations with wisdom. First, honor the pace that feels right for both of you. There's no need to rush into intense connection or make dramatic life changes immediately. Allow space for this reconnection to unfold organically, revealing its purpose and potential over time, rather than forcing it to conform to preconceived expectations. Second, maintain your existing support systems and self-care practices. Even the most divinely orchestrated reunions bring up emotions and patterns that need processing. Continuing your spiritual practices, staying connected with supportive friends, and honoring your personal needs creates stability as you navigate this new chapter. Third, be willing to have practical conversations about logistics, boundaries, and expectations. Divine connections still exist in the material world, and clarity about practical matters creates a strong foundation for whatever form your relationship takes. These conversations aren't unspiritual. They're an important part of bringing heavenly connection into earthly reality. Fourth, remember that even transformed connections require ongoing attention and care. The initial reunion is just the beginning of a new cycle of growth and evolution together. Commit to practices that nurture your connection. Quality time, meaningful conversation, shared experiences that feed your souls, and regular check-ins about how you're both feeling in the relationship. Type practical in the comments if you're committed to bringing practical wisdom to this divine reunion when it manifests in your life. Now, beloved soul, I want to share something important about the spiritual support available to you during this reconnection process. You are not navigating this divine appointment alone. There are angelic forces and spiritual guides working diligently behind the scenes to ensure that this reunion serves your highest good and spiritual evolution. These divine helpers are creating synchronicities to bring you together at the perfect moment. They're working with both your energy fields to clear old patterns and create space for new possibilities. They're sending intuitive nudges to guide your words and actions when you reconnect. They're amplifying the love and healing available in your interactions. To access this spiritual support most effectively, maintain your connection with divine guidance through regular prayer, meditation, or whatever spiritual practices resonate with your path. Ask specifically for wisdom, clarity, and discernment as you navigate this reconnection. Express gratitude for the divine orchestration that's bringing this transformed soul back into your life at the perfect moment. Thank you for watching.